Hello everyone! In tonight's starter deck upgrade, I wanted to take a look at the Simic deck called Desert Oasis. Now this deck has a very specific theme to it, and that theme is Explore. They really wanted to dive deep into the Explore mechanic with a sub-theme of Deserts Matter. So let's go take a look at the deck right now and see what we can do to improve upon that. Okay, so here we are with the original starter deck that the game client gives us. This deck is called Desert Oasis. And that's kind of funny because there really aren't a whole lot of things in this deck that really require you to have access to deserts, with the exception of I would probably have to say Colossal Rattleworm. That's really the only thing that really wants you to have deserts at the ready. Everything else is more built off of the Explore mechanic, putting +1/+1 counters on things, that kind of thing. So the deck runs 2 Rubble Belt Maverick, a Jadelight Spelunker, 2 Failed Fording, River Herald Scout, Bristly Bill, Hard Bristle Bandit, Root Rider Fawn, Waterwind Scout, Watley's Final Strike, Outcaster Greenblade, River Herald Guide, Sentinel of the Nameless City, Case of the Locked Hothouse, Map the Frontier, Pathfinding Axejaw, Colossal Rattleworm, Deep Fathom Echo, 2 copies of Beanstalk Worm, 2 copies of Cactarantula, and a Bonnie Paul. So, as you can see, the deck is really all in on Explore and doesn't really care so much about the desert sub-theme. So let's go take a look at what we can do to improve upon this formula. Okay, so here we are with my upgrade on this deck. So what I ended up doing is I ended up going very hard into the Explore mechanic and just a little bit into the deserts mechanic. So the only cards in the deck right now that want you to have deserts are the Colossal Rattleworm and the Failed Fording. Everything else in the deck is all about map tokens, exploring, all that kind of stuff. So creatures wise, we have 3 copies of Spyglass Siren, 3 copies of Sea Note Scout, then we have 2 copies of the Subterranean Schooner, 2 copies of Bristly Bill, 2 Nakonzel, and also thank you to a person in my chat that brought this to my attention because I honestly was not even thinking about this creature to start with. So Leia, or Leah, however your name is pronounced, thank you for bringing that to my attention. I really appreciate that because this card actually ended up being pretty integral in a couple games. And then we also have the River Herald Guide, 3 copies of the Sentinel of the Nameless City. We're still running the Colossal Rattleworm. It actually increased the size, or the quantity, to 3 on that. Deep Fathom Echo, and I decided to add in Kellen because of its ability to destroy unused artifacts to draw cards. So if we ever find ourselves with an excess of map tokens, Kellen can come in pretty clutch and help us draw some cards. Now, outside of the creatures, we have a few spells. We're running 4 copies of Audacity. Now, the reason I'm going with this is mostly just because your creatures tend to get big in this deck, but they don't really have a whole lot of evasion. There's a couple creatures with flying, but being able to give like your basic creatures like Sea Note Scout or River Herald Guide trample is pretty strong, especially if you're trying to race for damage. So that's why Audacity's in here. Failed Fording is still in the deck because it's a good catch-all removal spell. Then we also have 3 copies of Cosmic Hunger. Now, we had Watley's Final Strike in the deck to begin with, but Cosmic Hunger is 1 mana cheaper. You don't get the +1 power, but in most cases you don't need it. And this can also hit battles and planeswalkers rather than just creatures. So Cosmic Hunger gets an include. Also, I thought Repulsive Mutation might be a good counterspell for this deck. because you can put additional +1/+1 counters on a creature, and then counter a spell unless they pay mana equal to the highest power among creatures you control. So I thought that that was a pretty obvious include for this deck. Everything else is all creatures and lands, so this is a very straightforward play creatures, turn them sideways, play a few spells over the course of the game, and hopefully profit. So this is it. Oh, and if you are curious about the budget, we are at 15 exactly rares. So there's 2 right there, 2 more Bristly Beetle, that's 4. Then we have 3 Sentinels, so that's, what says that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and Hedge Maze makes 15. So that is exactly 15 rares or mythics. So we are at budget. So any new player should be able to build this deck fairly easily. So let's take it out, play a few games, and see if this little starter deck upgrade can compete with the ladder. Alright, so this time we get to go first. So maybe this will change our luck. So let's keep this. Alright, first land of the game is Forest. Alright, our opponent plays Obscura Storefront. Gains a life, puts a land into play. I play this land and play Nakonzel. And I really hope I don't miss our next land drop. Alright, well, let's see here. Let's play the C-Note Scout. Alright, it gets me a land. I will decline that, because I don't want it to come into play tapped. Next, I will play Kellen. Kellen's Investigate side. Then we'll attack for 2. Alright. Oh, and look at that. It's the long goodbye. Alright. Oof, that's not good. Alright, let's play the River Herald Guide. Alright, comes in, we explore. That's fine. I still want to get my explore trigger. Alright, cool. Alright, so I got a land. Attack for 1. Man. This deck does have its weaknesses. Like, one of those weaknesses happens to be like a lot of removal. Okay, so we're getting there. We're getting there. So let's go ahead and drop this forest, and then I'm going to play this backside of Kellen, and then I'm going to drop an Audacity onto the C-Note Scout and attack for 3. Alright, opponent chooses not to block. Life of Toshiro. Okay, so he's going to kill the C-Note Scout now. Alright, C-Note Scout goes away. I draw a card off of Audacity. It's a forest. It's not the best. Not the worst either. Alright, opponent plays an island. And they do nothing. Okay. I do not have a forest, or not a forest, I do not have a desert just yet. So that's fine. Let's go and play this. Then we'll play Sentinel. Get a map token come in. Opponent long goodbyes the Sentinel, which is fine. I'm not too worried about that. I really just wanted to try and explore with Kellen. Okay, cool. Alright, next, attack. We will destroy this clue token and draw a card with it. Okay. Then attack for 3. And let's go ahead and play the other side of that. And then we can play the Hedge Maze. Drop that force into the graveyard. There we go. Get a little extra land into play. Okay, they have a Sheldred. That is perfect. Alright, draw a turn. Yes, resolve. Okay, I'm going to play this island into this Deep Fathom Echo. Hit next. Okay. I'm going to keep that Rattleworm right there because I like him. Okay. I will choose to not become a copy of Kellen because it would just die. And then the attack for 3 in the air. Yeah, we'll destroy that clue. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So far, our opponent doesn't do anything with that last card in their hand. So let's see if they do something with this card. What is that last card in your hand? Okay, so he's holding priority, so he had something to do with it. He wasn't necessarily something that would save a Sheldred, though. I'm curious what that face-down card is, though. What in blue or black would be worth playing as a face-down card? The only card that comes to mind is, what is it? The, that 6/2 bone, dinosaur guy. Oh, good game. Didn't even have to finish that one. Okay, well, we got our rank back, so that's nice. You know what? I did have fun that game. I think I'm just running into a run of Battle Luck right now. We're running 25 lands, so we shouldn't be having a whole lot of mana issues, especially with all of the Explore and Surveil effects in the deck. But even with your best laid plans, sometimes shit just goes sideways. Alright, we'll keep this hand. Alright, so Restless Prairie. So our opponent is in white and green to start with. I don't have any Terminal in play, so I'm going to drop the Lush Oasis first. Hello. Okay, and then they play a Restless Fortress, so that's telling me they're in Abzan now. Interesting. So let's go and play this forest, and I will play the console. Alright, opponent plays a forest into Wedding Announcement. So is this a token strategy deck? Peculiar. Alright, so let's go ahead and play this. And should I play Audacity and keep mana up for the Field of Fording, or play the Sentinel? I think I kind of want to play the Sentinel. But first I'll attack for 2. See what they do. Peculiar. They opted to block. Alright, so I'll play the Sentinel. And here's to hoping that they're not just going to drop a Depopulate on me. So I use the enchantment that lets lands enter untapped, and when it enters you draw a card and get to play another one. I know the card you're talking about came out in Ixalan. It was yeah, I believe that people played it with like a lot of like the cave cards. Yeah, I know what card you're talking about. I had not thought about it though. Let's see here. Alright, let's go ahead and hit Audacity right there. Onto the Sentinel. We'll go next. Attacking with just a Sentinel. It might be an interesting card to try out though. I'm not against it. Yeah, let's play that island. The console is coming in pretty decent when I do have it in play. Also Dread Knight, right? Draw a card, lose a life. Alright, all those guys are 2/2s now, that's not good for me. but that's okay. Let's go ahead. Next, attack with the Sentinel. We make another map token. Not the Ganjo. Alright. I was expecting him to block with like 2 of his creatures, but he burns a Ganjo. That's interesting. Alright, let's play a C-Note Scout. Yeah, go and put that man in the battlefield. And then we will go and play the Siren. And you know what? I'm going to explore with the Spyglass Siren. So we might need to put our eggs into that basket. Okay, our opponent drops a Mirex. Talia and Getrog. Bravo. Bravo, good sir. I was not expecting that. Though I probably should have, because he's in the right colors for it. What an interesting deck. Alright, looks like he's starting to come at me. That's fine. Alright, so go to blocks. Block there. And, well, Talia and Getrog is a first striker, so I'm not getting past that, so I might as well kill 2 creatures. Yep. Resolve. Okay, end of turn. I'm gonna hit the field forwarding on Talia and Getrog. Deep Fathom Echo. Do I want to keep it? I think we do. We'll keep it right there. Alright, let's play the Deep Fathom Echo. And then I'm going to play Audacity on the Spyglass Siren. And also Explore. Keep the Audacity there. Do it again. Copy another creature. Yeah, sure. Copy the Spyglass. I wonder if... No, it won't allow me to attack this turn. That's fine. Okay, so... we'll just attack... Actually, we'll attack with both of those. Alright, we put our opponent to 8. That dies, goes back to their hand. They will potentially cast the spell side this next turn, which would cost them a point of life to do so. They play an Ancient Cornucopia into Talia, that gains them 3 life. Okay. Alright, so we're going to put Audacity onto the Deep Fathom Echo. Then we're going to Explore. Do we explore with the Deep Fathom or with the Spyglass Siren? I think we explore with the Spyglass Siren. Yeah, there it is. Cool. Okay. Oh. I mean, you could have let me get to my attack phase. You know what I think? I think that my opponent thought that the Deep Fathom Echo would have taken on like the full size of the flying creature, because I don't think that I had enough combat damage to end that game that turn. But either way, a win's a win and I'll take it. Okay, so we have Forest, and Lush Oasis. Audacity, Repulsive Mutation, Sentinel, and Colossal Rattleworm. Our opponent goes first, so that will give us an opportunity to draw a good card. I will keep this. Hey buddy, how you doing? Okay, so we got a forest out of that. We need to play the Lush Oasis first. How's work going, buddy? Soyawa. Okay, let's go and play Forest, and then I will play the Spyglass Siren, and we'll explore. I'll keep the Audacity right there. That's a good card. It's going great. I'm glad to hear it. No blocks. I'll take that 2 damage. Home is good. The boys are actually being pretty chill tonight. I've already taken them out a few times. And at the moment, they're being great little boys. So I cannot wish for better. I'm going to hit an Audacity on this Spyglass Siren and wait for opponent to try and remove my creature. Okay. Ooh. That's not something I can control, can't I? Yeah, it only allows me to counter a spell. Interesting. Well played. Yeah, I could have countered a spell with that, but not a channeled ability. Dog of the day, dog of the day. For the moment, yeah, I'll say River is dog of the day. Let's play Sentinel of the Nameless City. And then I will drop an Audacity on the Sentinel. It is now 5/4. Yeah, River's been very good. Tundra has been a little bit of a pill with the fence line. But aside from that, she's been good. Everybody's all fed. And based on the lack of sound here, you can kind of tell that it's getting close to bedtime for the boys. Alright, let's go play that. I want to explore. Okay, we just explored a land. Alright, well, let's attack. Board 5, make another map token. Our opponent will block. Pop, pop. Goes to 16. Okay. They will make a treasure token. Okay, so I'm going to hold my mana because I want the opportunity to play that Colossal Rattleworm at instant speed. Reach the multiverse? Oh no, absolutely not. No, get out of here. You're gross. Ew. Nasty boy. Alright, let's go ahead and... what is it? No, if I do that, I won't have enough mana open for the River Herald. Or the Colossal Rattleworm, I mean. See Note Scout? Send that down. I can go bye-bye. Take another map token. Attack with the Sentinel. And I don't care if he blocks with Zoya. Pop, pop. Alright, opponent goes to 10. I lose the Sentinel, but I gain a card. And that's a good card. End turn. Chat, here's some nerd-strong lore. Loves Firefly and Serenity so much he named his dog after a character. Personally, I'm just surprised it wasn't Mal. Hey, come on now. She's just a good boy. Alright, what are you digging out? Okay. Getting the Colossal Trumpeting Carnosaur. Alright, we're going to resolve that Discover effect. It's the Airlift Chaplain. Interesting. And that's probably in there just to get more creatures into the graveyard. Yeah, okay. Alright, let's get the Rattleworm in. And we'll block the Trumpeter. Okay. Let's go and play Forest into the River Herald Guide. Okay, cool. So we'll keep that there. And now we're going to Cosmic Hunger that Olivia away. And let's see, can that be done at any time? It sure can. So we will just hold on to our mana for now. Ah, Infernal Grasp my creature. I'm not okay with that. That's bad babbies. Alright, they'll attack for 2. Can't really do anything about that. I'm kind of out of options over here. Alright, well, end of turn. Do the Colossal Rattleworm Shuffle. I'll get a Desert. Get that Lush Oasis. Comes in, deals 1 damage to our opponent. Okay, so I just shuffled away a failed forwarding, and it gave me a failed forwarding. Yeah, just bounce that. I don't care. I'm honestly just using this so I can get the Surveil. I need to surveil my way to a creature. End turn. Alright, plays the Airlift Chaplain again. It's honestly a pretty decent play. I mean, at worst, it becomes like a 2/2 flyer. Alright, we'll keep that there as well. Yep. Explore again. Get up to a 6/6. That might convince our opponent to not attack us. Never mind. Never mind. I will admit, this is an interesting take on a Reanimator build. Playing some cards that I never would have expected. Jesus. Yep. Get that Carnosaur back. Pretty good. Pretty good. He gets a green freebooter. Yeah, that was a good play. You know what? You earned it. Good game. I did break my own butt. Blocks. Come on in. I'm not even gonna bother with it. I broke my own butt to the point where it hurts to sit. And what am I doing? Sitting. Hey, our opponent today is That's So Haven. Great name. Just waiting for our opponent to choose their mulligans. Okay, cool. We get to make a turn. So we play the Forest and play a Snow Scout. Snow Scout explores and finds a River Herald Guide. I'll keep that right there. You know what? I would not be surprised if that's like the secret sauce that helps you get through stuff like that. Lush Oasis comes in, hits our opponent for 1. I'm going to play Audacity on the Snow Scout and attack for 4 damage. And I can usually handle some spice, but like for whatever reason, like that stuff just knocks me out. It's not good. Yeah, we'll keep that there. You've always been a little bit more of a spice lord than me, though. Let's go and play Nakonzol. And play Spyglass Siren. Creates a map token. And we will choose the Spyglass Siren to explore. Draws me a land. Let's play that land. And attack with the River Herald Guide. Opponent will likely block with the Processor. And he does. Alright, cool. I'm into it. Alright, brings in his token creature. Wants to attack with it. Actually, no. We won't block, because we have a field forwarding in hand. Alright, Bristly Bill comes in. Let's play a forest. Get a +1 counter on the Spyglass Siren. And go next. Let's attack with both of those. Yeah, because he doesn't have the mana available to sacrifice another creature. Does he choose to block with the Body Dropper? He's got no mana available. Okay. Let's go and use the Failed Forwarding now while he doesn't have any mana available. Ooh, Sentinel. Yeah, that stays right there. I like that. Alright, opponent plays a Bloodfell Caves into another Bloated Processor. I like the Bloated Processor a lot. The one thing I don't like is that it only... you can only sacrifice other Phyrexians. Okay, let's play the Sentinel. Sentinel comes in, creates a map token for us. Let's use that map token on the Spyglass Siren. Sinote Scout. That stays right there. Okay. Now we attack with that and that. Does the opponent block? He does not. Curiouser and curiouser. Look at that last card in hand be. Nothing good. Okay, and we are back with the post-game wrap-up, and my thoughts on this deck are, it's fairly solid. Like, as far as a Simic deck that doesn't run a whole lot of removal, I mean, it's a pretty solid build. I mean, your early game is good, because you have Spyglass Siren and Sinote Scout with backup from Audacity. On turn 2, you can play a Subterranean Schooner, or a Bristly Bill, or a Nakanzel, or just hold up mana for some small interaction. Pretty decent. Turn 3 gives you River Herald Guide and Sentinel of the Nameless City, and then you top out with Colossal Rattleworm, Deep Fathom Echo, or Kellen on turn 4. So it's a pretty solid, although pretty straightforward deck. The interaction is a little bit lighter than I usually like to run. I'm more of a blue and black style player, so I tend to run a lot more removal. But this deck does have a small handful of removal and interaction, so it's not completely what's the term? Not completely vulnerable. We'll say that. Not completely vulnerable. You do have some interaction. As far as strong cards versus weak cards, I would say Kellen is definitely a good card. I would probably not feel bad crafting that at all. As far as the Colossal Rattleworm, if you were to play a deck with a few more deserts in it, I think Colossal Rattleworm would be a little bit better. It is already a pretty decent card for a 4-mana flash creature, if you have a desert. Other than that, Sentinel of the Nameless City is an absolute MVP in this deck. This card is so good. Nakanzel actually ended up being better than I was expecting, so I'm very happy with that. And Bristly Bill and the Subterranean Schooner are cards that you should have no issues crafting whatsoever. Like, these are two just very, very solid cards. Even if you choose not to play them in this deck, just having them in your collection is an absolute win for you. As far as weak cards, drawing a Sinote Scout or a Spyglass Siren in the late game does not feel good. So if you end up exploring and you see this around like turns like 5 through 6, I would probably ship these downriver. Not something you want to draw late game. River Herald Guide is good to play on curve, but any other turn, it's just not really good feeling. You'd rather be playing almost anything else. So this is a pretty weak card. I would say if you want to spend a few extra wild cards, here's what I would do. I would run Bloated Contaminator. It is a rare, so you'll have to spend a few more extra wilds on this, but the fact that it's a 4/4 with Trample and Toxic 1, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you get to proliferate. So that means any +1/+1 counters you already have on your creatures, you can increase that by 1. And if you happen to be running a toxic game plan, the toxic 1 doesn't hurt. So River Herald Guide, 3 mana. At best, if it explores a non-land card, it will come in as a 4/2 with Vigilance. This, no matter what, comes in as a 4/4 with Trample and Proliferate on damage. So pound for pound, it's just a better card. I would definitely swap this out for a couple copies of Bloated Contaminator if you have the Wild Suspend. Aside from that, the rest of the deck is pretty solid. Like, I really don't have any real issues with the deck. So I would probably continue playing a deck like this and working your way up the ladder. I mean, as far as starter decks are considered, you could definitely do worse than this list right here. So I will leave a link to the deck list in the description box down below. So if you want to take this out for a spin yourself, you're more than welcome to it. And our next deck that we're going to be looking at is going to be a red and green dinosaur starter deck. So that should be pretty fun. I'm actually looking pretty forward to upgrading that deck. So until next time, you all take care of yourselves.